Hi everyone. For today's video, we will discuss about the midpoint formula. So let's talk about the midpoint formula. The word midpoint is the shortened term of the word middle point, meaning if we take a line here, let's say for example we have line AB with the endpoints A and B and with the corresponding coordinates. The middle point of this line is the point that divides the line into two equal parts. So if we take here the middle point as point M, we can identify the coordinates of the middle point by just adding the x coordinates of the endpoints. So we have here x of 1 plus x of 2, and you have to divide it by 2. And for us to identify the y ordinate of the middle point, we have to add the y ordinates of the endpoints. We have here y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2.
So this is the formula that we will use to identify the midpoint of the given lines in the next examples.
For example number 1, we have here the endpoints of the line xy. We have here for x, we have -2 and -6. For y, we have 5 and 5. So our task here is to find the coordinates of the midpoint of the line segment xy. So we can do that by applying the midpoint formula, wherein we have to add the x coordinates and divide it by 2, and do the same also with the y ordinates. We have to add it and divide it by 2. So let's begin. Take note that before we solve for this, you have to identify that this is our x of 1 and y sub 1. This is x sub 2 and y sub 2. Now we're ready to substitute the coordinates of the endpoints. Let's solve for the midpoint. So first step is we need to substitute the values for x. So we have here x sub 1, that is -2, copy plus sign, and then for x sub 2, that is +5. And also copy the denominator, which is 2. And do the same with the y ordinates. We have y sub 1, that is equal to -6, copy plus sign, and y sub 2 is equal to +5, and copy the denominator. Next step is to simplify our x and y coordinates here. So -2 plus 5 over 2, that is simply 3/2. And for the y ordinates, we have -6 plus 5, that is equal to -1, and then just copy over 2. So as you can see here, there is no way to simplify our x and y coordinates. Thus, the midpoint of line segment xy has coordinates of 3/2 and -1/2. So this will be our final answer. Now let us discuss the last example. A segment has midpoint R with the coordinates 1 and 1.5, and one endpoint is T, wherein we have -1 and 5. Now the question is, what are the coordinates of Y, the other point? Take note that in this problem, the midpoint is given and one endpoint is also given. So we have to find the other endpoint. So we can do that by first, let us visualize how the points was placed on a line. So we have here, let's say 3 points on a line. Let's say this is T with the coordinates of -1 and 5. And since the midpoint is given, this will be R with the coordinates of 1 and 1.5. Now we will be identifying the other endpoint, which is Y. So we have to identify the coordinates of Y. So we can do that by using the midpoint formula. So take note that for the midpoint formula, we have here the midpoint, which is R, and it is given to be x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2, and then y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. But since our midpoint is given, we just have to equate each coordinates from the formula for us to get the other point. So let y be x sub 2 and y sub 2, meaning this is the unknown variables. So let's begin solving. We have here x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2. Take note that this is the formula for the x coordinates of the midpoint, and we have to equate that one with the value which is 1 because this is the x-coordinate of the given midpoint. So we just have to substitute our x of 1 here, which is negative 1, and then copy x of 2 and then over 2 and then equate that to 1.
The next step is we need to multiply the entire equation by positive 2 to get rid of the denominator on the left side of the equation.
We have here negative 1 plus x of 2 that is equal to 2, and then simplify further by isolating x of 2. We have x of 2 that is equal to 3. Therefore, the x-coordinates of y is equal to 3. Now let's move on to the y-ordinate. So for the y-ordinate, we have here the formula y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. Equate that with the given y-ordinate of the midpoint. We have 1.5. And then let's substitute the values from the given. Take note that y sub 1 here is positive 5, and then just copy plus y sub 2 over 2. Then equate that to 1.5. Do the same with what we have done in the first process.
So we have to multiply the entire equation by 2.
There we got 5 plus y sub 2 equals to 3. And then isolate y sub 2 for us to get the y-ordinate of the endpoint. So y sub 2 is equal to negative 2. Thus, we have the coordinates of our point y here, that is 3 and negative 2. So that's the final answer. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to update you on my next video.